No one saw this coming from the Cleveland Guardians. They shocked the world, and it was very impressive to watch. They are now back in their series against the New York Yankees, and there's life. There is a pulse, and maybe there's a chance that they could be playing in the World Series. So we'll break that down and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. What a performance last night by the Cleveland Guardians. Gutsy. They did not quit, and they allowed themselves to stay in the series against the New York Yankees. Before we break it all down, though, I want to let you know that a huge percentage of you watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So go ahead, hit that sub button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a ton. So it'd really mean the world to me if you could help me get to my goal of 1,500 subscribers. We're very close to that. But let's get straight into the video right here. And Jhonkensy Noel's home run is the first game-tying pinch hit home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning or later in MLB postseason history. Now, if you missed it, I unfortunately can't show it to you, but Big Christmas came up with the biggest hit of his life yesterday, and he knew it. He knew that it was gone as soon as it left the bat, and the bat flip matched the intensity of the moment, and it was just fantastic to see that happen. And I was complaining about the NLCS not being competitive and the ALCS as well, but now maybe we have a little bit more competition in the ALCS, and we're gonna see a series come out of that one. I would not be shocked if the Yankees were to win in 4 games. That's the way that this series was headed in. And I would even say, okay, maybe the Guardians get a game, but now with all the momentum on their side after that big win yesterday, who knows? Who knows? So Jhonkensy Noel had the first big hit, and the second big hit was a guy that has been doing it all postseason long, and that is David Fry. In MLB history, only one player has hit a 2-out, 2-strike go-ahead home run in the 7th inning or later twice in his postseason career. That one player is Cleveland Guardians' David Fry. Both have come within the last 8 days in games he didn't start. So he's been a huge addition to this team as well, and he's come up with big hits for them all season long. But the fact that he's doing it on the biggest stage, in the biggest moments, he's carving out a pretty nice legacy for himself in Cleveland. So shout out to David Fry. And Cleveland is just, they're scratching, they're clawing, and they're just finding ways to win with one true superstar player. Maybe 2, I guess, if you want to put Emmanuel Clase in that mix as well. But Jose Ramirez is legitimately their only superstar player on the offensive side of the ball. And you got guys like David Fry coming up with massive hits. Jhonkensy Noel pinch hitting in the 9th inning. You're down to your final out. You're down by 2 runs. You're on the brink of going down 3-0 to the New York Yankees, losing the game at home. And what do? Jhonkensy Noel, big Christmas, baby. And all of those calls, whether it was Brian Anderson, whether it was the Spanish call saying Feliz Navidad, it was just fantastic to see the baseball world come together and appreciate that amazing moment. Even Yankee fans were kind of floored by what had happened and the drama that situation brought to the table. So shout out to Jhonkensy Noel. And just a little quick tidbit here. Noel and Fry combined salary for 2024, $1.481 million. And then you got Judge and Stanton combined salary for 2024, $72 million. So a little bit of a discrepancy there between the heroes for Cleveland and the heroes for New York. So again, very nice to see what happened yesterday. It was a great game. It was back and forth. It was entertaining. It was one of the only entertaining games that we have seen in this round, in the championship series round. And I could sign me up for that, man. Sign me up for that, because there has not been a single close game in the NLCS between the Dodgers and the Mets. Yesterday was yet another blowout. It's 3-1 now for the Dodgers. That sort of felt like the nail in the coffin there. And Cleveland has a chance to tie up the series today. The Mets have a chance to prolong it, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really tough, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it against against Los Angeles the way that they've been pitching. And I believe Jack Flaherty is on the mound today. Let me just double check that for you guys. I believe it is going to be, it's Jack Flaherty against Peterson for the Mets. And then the one that I wanted to get to here, the one that I wanted to focus on was, we'll get to this here. The last time the Browns were this bad, the Cleveland Guardians were in the World Series. The last time the Browns were this bad, the Cleveland Cavaliers were in the NBA Finals. So I don't know. Maybe it's a war. Maybe it's a sign of destiny. There's been a lot of destiny this year in the playoffs, and maybe for that reason the Mets aren't finished just yet. But let's take a look at the pitching matchup for tonight. It is Lewis Hill on the mound against Gavin Williams for the Cleveland Guardians. Lewis Hill has been good this year, but still a rookie, a guy that doesn't have too much experience. Gavin Williams, same thing, younger guy, not too much experience, but this is going to be a bullpen day, you would assume, for it would probably have to be a bullpen day for the Cleveland Guardians. Only 76 innings on the season for Williams. The numbers aren't great. The ERA is approaching 5. I mean, it leaves a little bit to be desired there, but still, whatever you can get out of him, if he can get, let's say, 9 outs for you, I think you are over the moon if you're Stephen Vogt, and that will allow you to play the game how you want to play it. That will allow you to turn it over to your bullpen, which has been so dominant with all those great young arms that you have in there. And I know Clase has struggled, but he's still the best closer in baseball, so I still feel comfortable handing him the ball to get me 4 or 5 outs, or maybe even 6 outs, depending on the situation. But Cleveland has a chance. They have allowed themselves to get back into this series, which is not something that I anticipated. I still think the Yankees are going to move on to the World Series. I don't know if it's going to be in 5 games. I don't know if it's going to be in 6 games, or I don't even know if this is going to be going the distance. But Cleveland showed fight yesterday, and they didn't hear no bells. So they don't want to go home. They're not ready to put a stamp on the end of this season yet. So they want to keep playing. They want to keep going. And that's a recipe for turning in performances like that. If you are hungry, if you want it more than the other team, then you're going to give yourself a good chance to win the ball game on that given night. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Shout out to you guys for making it this far. And again, make sure to hit that sub button. We're close to my goal of 1,500 subscribers, so it'd mean the world to me. And thank you to Baseball Town as well for sponsoring this video. Would not be possible without them. So check them out today. They're your one-stop shop for everything that you need baseball or softball related. Whether it's cleats, gloves, batting gloves, bats, they got you covered. The best equipment at the most competitive prices. So check them out today, and I'll see you all tomorrow.